What is going on, everyone? I'm back. It's time for a full, fun week of gameplay streaming here on DSPGaming. Today, we have another full day of Street Fighter 6 following the Akuma update and patch. Plus, since I'm coming back from break, we got Phil's day off. We got tons of game news, my opinions on Akuma, and more. We've got a jam-packed, fun show here today on the Level 1 podcast right after this. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, the 24th of May, 2024. I'm DSP, and welcome to the Level 1 podcast. You're wondering why Jasper Kitty is here today? He ran in the office when I was setting up, and I was like, I have no time to get him out. So I closed the door. He's going to be here, and once he gets tired of being in here with me, and undoubtedly he gets angry and tries to leave, I'll open the door and he'll get out of here. But he was dying to be on stream today for some reason, so here he is. Anyway, welcome to the show. I hope that you all had a good day away yesterday on Thursday. I was not here. It was my day off from streaming. And let me just tell you, as I get older, all right, it's just funny to me, and here's why I say that. When I was a young man, okay, I speak to you now from a situation of great age, experience, wisdom, and longevity, of course. But when I was a young man, all right, I would frequently find myself this particular state, and a lot of people say this a lot when they're younger, but the more that I get older, right, Jasper, I find myself almost never saying it, all right? When I was younger, I used to be bored a lot. I would have free time with absolutely nothing to do and no means to do anything. Didn't have a car, I didn't have any money, and therefore I just kind of sat around doing nothing because I didn't have anything to do. So a lot of the times I would be, playing video games or whatever. As I get older, I find I have absolutely no time to do anything. And in fact, time is getting away from me. Case in point, right? Right now, what's going on my streams is I'm playing a lot of Street Fighter 6. There's a lot of things regarding Street Fighter 6 that I could be doing and I want to do, and I just don't have time to do them all. Just today, I didn't even get to fully set up today's stream. For example, yesterday, during my day off, I had a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to do to prepare for this week's streams. And I tried to cram in as much as I could, but, I'm spending time with my family. I'm not going to be in here in the office all day. So I spent, arguably about 45 minutes to an hour in the office yesterday trying to pay bills, set stuff up. And I got some stuff done, but not others. Today, I want to actually do more stuff before we actually play online because I want to do some cool setup stuff for the stream to make it more interesting. And I haven't really had a chance. I'm rushing around. I'm trying to get everything set up for a marathon tomorrow. Are you guys even aware there's a marathon tomorrow? Yeah, my PC Gaming Indies Marathon is all day tomorrow here on DSP Gaming. Have I really had a lot of chance to really promote or talk about that recently? Not really. So some of you might know about it, and some of you have no clue, right? Well, I did get that set up. We're going to talk about this during the Phil's Day Off segment. So that's good. At least that's ready to go for tomorrow, but not to the capacity that I would like. I got everything installed, but I didn't get to test anything. I didn't get to run anything or test setup or anything like that, right? This is what I mean. My life has become very full, which is great. It's good to have a full life. But as it becomes full, time gets away from you. And then you don't realize what day of the week it is. You don't realize you're in the middle of something like, oh my God, what time is it? And that's kind of the situation I've been in. The opposite of when I was young, I would sit around with nothing to do all day. So hopefully, this is a good thing because as you get older, you want to be busy with more interesting stuff, right? But at the same time, it's tricky. This morning, I'm having my breakfast. My wife is talking to me about stuff. Jasper's on the floor rolling around like a worm on the carpet, and I'm eating, and my bagel I'm eating goes the wrong way. I start coughing intensely. I spit my coffee all over the counter. I'm just, bleh, bleh. Like, oh my God. Obviously that wasn't intended. It's like, oh my God. So I start off today, I got a talk show to do, and my throat doesn't feel good because I was coughing up this morning because I choking on a bagel. I'm like, oh my God. There's just so much going on. I have a bunch of news to talk about today that happened on my day off. You know, we have things I tried to do. I tried to spend time on my day off to set stuff up for the weekend, but I didn't get half of it done. I got a special stream tonight. And the thing is, I've really been trying to not reveal what I'm doing on the late stream tonight because I really want it to be a surprise that I hope a lot of you are going to like. Tonight's late stream is Street Fighter 6. Yes, I am using a variety of characters, but it's not a normal stream. That's all I'm going to say. That's literally all I'm going to say. Okay? So tonight, I hope you'll join me for Friday Night Fights. It should be a fun, excellent time. If you can make it, which I hope you can, it's going to be something different. Okay? So, where do I even begin? There's so much going on right now. All right. Let's begin at the beginning. Let's talk about Wednesday and how it went. Okay? Before we get to the schedule, before we get to my day off and stuff like that, because what we'll do is talk about Wednesday, then we'll do Phil's day off, then we'll do the schedule for the week, which will cover things like the marathon, the end of Hellblade 2, which some people have been asking me when I'm playing it now. So I will answer all these questions for you right now. Okay? Cool. Here we go. Wednesday, the big patch dropped for Street Fighter 6. I played it all day long, both streams. The first stream was a lot of testing Akuma out. You know, I took him into his character tutorial, his character trials to learn basics. Then I went into casual play for a couple of hours to try to learn how to use it. I did pretty good. In fact, FYI, since this is considered now kind of year 2 or season 2, it's not really season 2, it's more year 2. I've started tracking all of my Street Fighter progress in a brand new data set. So all the gameplay that I did up to now before Wednesday was considered year 1. Now we're heading into Street Fighter year 2. Okay? So, I played about 50 casual matches with Akuma. First time ever using him. I won 32 of them and I lost 18. Not a bad win-loss ratio. It's about, I want to say like 50... Actually, it's more like 70-something more. That's a huge win-loss ratio, actually. I didn't do the math there. 32 out of 18, or 18 out of 32 is a big, you know, you win way more than you lose. But anyway, so then after that being my first stream of Akuma, I was like, gee, should I use other characters on the late stream, or should I just go with Akuma again? A lot of people were fiending for me to use Akuma again because they liked that stream. I said, all right, let's just go right to ranked. Seriously. Let's just go right to ranked play and see how I do with Akuma. I then proceeded to have the absolute best ever, all right, ever ranked placings that I've ever seen, all right, in Street Fighter 6. Never before have I actually done that. So I won 8 out of 10 placement matches, and in fact, in reality, I probably should have won 10 out of 10, but there were some mistakes made and issues had. So after doing that, and I didn't fight any master players, but I fought several high-ranked diamond players, I got 5-star diamond from the get-go. I didn't even know that was possible. I thought the highest was 3-star diamond. No, I'm being told I actually placed right to 5-star diamond. And I was like, holy shit. So what a place to start. Okay? But then the pain began. And what I mean by that is that I started fighting endless armies of people using their pattern play online, which is stupid. It's just frustrating as shit. The pattern play, especially when you're using a new character. You know, it's one thing if they're doing pattern play against a character I've used and I kind of know strategies at least to use against it. But dude, I'm using a new character. So the pattern play is really shutting me down. And it gets really frustrating when my moves are dropping. By the way, FYI, with Akuma, if you're not aware, he has less health than anyone else. He literally has the least health of the whole game. So with Akuma, one mistake made, one combo landed, he's literally has no health left. He's like, oh my God. So yeah, it was very frustrating because I started off really good momentum. And my thought was, gee, maybe I can even get him to master tonight. But then it just went boom. Like 2 hours of pain of me dropping moves, bad connections. And the thing is, like, I kind of knew what to do. But number one, not really having the execution down yet for Akuma because it's the first time I had used him. And then number two, my usual complaints about the online play of this game. The fact that it drops inputs quite a bit online really drives me nuts. And with Akuma, it makes it even worse. So, you know, it just compiles the matter. Anyway, so I like Akuma. I did really well, but by the end of the night, I had lost more than I had won. Luckily, here's what happened. I went down into 4-star diamond, then I got close to hitting 5-star again, then I went down again, then I hit 5-star again, then I went down again, then I went up again. By the end of the night, I finally did hit 5-star diamond again. So basically, I'm right back to where we started. I played 2 hours, and it was like, wow, in the 2 hours, I didn't really get anything done. I did place high, and then I just got stuck at 5-star diamond. Now, listen, getting stuck at 5-star diamond is not bad. That's really good. It means I'm just below the people who are getting, you know, the best in the game. But at the same time, it is frustrating for me. I was in that position to get Akuma to master on day 1, and I couldn't do it because I didn't have time. You know, I feel like if I had a couple more hours to play, I might have been able to get back on a streak and do it, but I had no time, you know? So, overall, day 1 Akuma, what do I think? Akuma is likely going to be one of the best in the game, in my opinion. He has everything. He has tools for every situation. If he gets a hit from mid-screen, he instantly gets a great combo that not only does good damage, but sets him up for options, right? He can place himself wherever he wants to be. He can be right next to you. He can be above you. He can be behind you. He can be at range to start throwing fireballs. He can kind of do whatever he wants. He can zone you with fireballs, which is great. And he has multiple kinds of fireball, regular, charge, OD, and they're all different properties, different speeds. You know, his juggles are good. So he has various different juggles. A juggle from the air can result in a giant combo. I can easily cancel into his level 3 from pretty much anywhere. Yeah, he's great in my opinion. A real anti-air with his Dragon Punch. So you cannot jump on this guy, right? Like, he has every tool you could think of. Mix-ups. I mean, if you say what are his weaknesses? He has low health. That's about it. His only real weakness is that he has low health. Everything else is an advantage for him. He's got so many tools and options, again, as opposed to the low tiers in this game who kind of stand around with almost no tools or options. He's got a ton. So, I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to say he's not great, you know. Now, when the meta is established, because it hasn't been yet, everyone's playing the game and learning the meta again, you know, have characters shifted. A lot of people are thinking Ryu, with some of his changes and buffs, now has gone way up. He used to be like mid-tier. Now people are saying he might be top tier with the improvements that they've made to Ryu. People actually feel Ken is still top tier, but may actually not be as good as Ryu. That's interesting, right? That's a big shift. Some people are saying Luke may be better. Some people are saying Luke may be worse. I tell you this, like Blanca seems like he's a little worse, I would say. But at the same time, Blanca can now use low jab for like everything. Like his low jab is insanely good now. And it just like goes combos easily. I see everyone who's a pro Blanca player now using low jab to do combos and interrupts. Everyone used to use like low short, but now low jab seems to be his thing. So there are a lot of different changes and shifts around the game because of this balance change. And I would just say from day 1, I think Akuma's going to be really good. I don't know if he'll be absolute top or not, but I feel like he's going to be really good in this game just because of the amount of tools he has. But his one detriment is, dude, you make one mistake, you're going to lose an insane amount of your health because you don't have a lot of it. So that glass cannon kind of feel, just like in other games that he's been in. So anyway, day 1 Akuma, I like the character a lot. I want to play more with him. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a second. Okay? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Oh, by the way, so my overall win-loss record with Akuma when I got to ranked was only 46%. I had 31 wins and 37 losses. So more losses than wins because I just got like stonewalled by the 5-star diamond players who are stuck there. They're not good, but they play their pattern. And I didn't really know how to beat the pattern with Akuma yet. And I got spanked by it, you know. It really frustrated me. Oh, by the way, there's one other thing that I will say. Because there's one thing I want to say before we move on from this topic and we talk about my day off. I want to say thank you to anyone who was on stream on Wednesday, enjoyed the content, engaged with it, and supported it. And I want to say thank you to anyone who watched after the fact and enjoyed the videos as well. And thanks to those who leave their feedback, all right? Here's the truth. A lot of people do not leave feedback anymore on my content, and it sucks because engagement is a really important factor on YouTube. People watch the videos, but no one comments. I look at all the comments. I approve the comments that are basically not hateful comments, right? And there just aren't a lot. It sucks because I would love to have conversation in the comments of my videos. Like, you would think day 1 Akuma, people would be like, yeah, so here's what people are doing. You should use this variation. Here's what you messed up. Here we go. I didn't get any of that. I didn't get any feedback, really, in the videos. And it sucks because that's exactly what you want. And you can't, I'm not getting it. So for me, I have to study videos, right? And I have to just guess. I'm not getting any feedback to say, hey, here's a helpful tidbit, or here's something that could have been done better, or here's where your flaws are. I'm not getting that advice. And it makes it more frustrating because I don't have a lot of time, as you know, to play Street Fighter like everyone else out there right now is playing a hardcore. I'm playing it again today, and then when am I playing it again? Monday? And then again when? Wednesday, maybe? I can't play it every day. I'm a variety streamer. Tomorrow I'm doing an Indies marathon. Sunday's my React day. I can't play it like everybody else. So what I would say is, guys, if you like the content, please engage with it. All right? I would really, really appreciate your help. You know, and I wish that people would engage more with the stuff. I'm not even saying just give me advice, just saying, hey, good video, right? Something like that. They don't. People watch, there's views on the videos, but the engagement of liking the videos and leaving comments, I'm looking all day yesterday on the comments. I'm like, gee, I hope someone will comment on these videos to see what they said or what they think about Akuma or my Akuma. I get like nothing. All right. What I do get is a bunch of nonsensical stuff. Okay. Absolutely nonsensical. So for example, someone leaves this comment. I swear to God, I'm going to paraphrase it, but I get a comment like this. You're no good. You're not like Justin Wong or Tokido or Maximilian Dude. You're like LTG level. So you shouldn't be angry that you lose. Like literally that's the comment. And I'm reading the comment and I'm like, so let me get this straight. Okay? I'm not like someone who literally plays fighting games full time. Correct. You would think that would be common sense. Like you wouldn't even have to state that in the video on a comment. It's like, dude, you're right. I'm not Justin Wong. I've literally never been a full-time fighting game player. I'm not Tokido. I haven't been a tournament winner, an Evo winner and placer in Street Fighter in the last decade. You're absolutely right. Like this is like very easy to figure out. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, I wasn't aware that I said I was. Have I not said so many times in the last 10 years, I am not part of the FGC? Should I repeat myself here again? I am not part of the FGC. I stand outside of that community because I don't want to be associated with them, with a lot of the things that have happened over the years, with the way that they've treated others, the way they've treated me. All right. I'm not into competitive fighting games when it comes to entering tournaments, and I don't care about being so good and better than others. If anything, like I've told you, I've been this really weird anomaly where I've stayed out of fighting games for almost a decade, and now I came back and I'm actually doing decent at them. Like how many people could say I didn't play fighting games for over a decade in any competitive capacity, and then Street Fighter 6 came out and I have 5 master characters. And by the way, with a positive win-loss ratio, not that I grinded them to master by playing endlessly and I lost a ton. I actually have positive win-loss ratios with every character, right? That's an accomplishment for me. And that's not me grinding to be part of the FGC and win tournaments. That's just a personal accomplishment that I actually really proud of, okay? So I'm not part of the FGC. I'm not one of these people. The names that they drop are hilarious. Justin Wong, Tokido, Maximilian. Oh, you mean the people who studied Akuma before he even came out? Who micro-analyzed all of the footage out there? Who got early previews of Akuma in some cases and got to play the game early? Who literally, this is their bread and butter. This is all they do. They'll be playing Street Fighter 6 now for weeks. Ripping the game apart. Playing it non-stop. You know, people who played it non-stop when the patch came out. I played it all day, sure. What, 5 hours of gameplay? They were probably played like 12 to 15 to 17 hours of gameplay in the first day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right. I'm nowhere near as good as them. I mean, no shit. I wasn't aware that this was like a competition to begin with. Like, for me, what I wanted to do, I was really hoping maybe on day one I could get him to master. And then I could be like, wow, that's an accomplishment. Day one, I got a new character to master, right? And now I can kind of focus on variety. But now the way I feel is like, I'm kind of like, man, I was doing good and then I kind of faltered. But now I want to kind of try again because I've had to rest away for a day. And I feel like today, with the 3 hours that I have on this first stream, maybe I can get Akuma to master. As long as I play solid and I get more wins than losses, I think I can do it. In 3 hours, I might be able to do it. But the comment's hilarious. Like, on what planet did you ever fucking think that I was in competition with those people? I'm not. I have no desire to be as good as Justin Wong, Tokido, Maximilian, or anybody else. I don't care. I stand alone. I'm very different from any of them. I'm not looking to be them or get their viewership or get their knowledge and level of competition in fighting games at all. I don't know where that even came from, but this is what idiots think. They think that like, oh, see, DSP sucks because he's not Justin Wong or Tokido. What? What are you talking about? And then they say, oh, you're like LTG. To my knowledge, LTG plays the living shit out of fighting games. I still don't, even though I like them. I still don't. As you know, I'm a variety streamer. There's entire times when I don't play fighting games. I think his whole end-all be-all is fucking fighting games. So you should think that he'd actually be way better than me. I don't think he is. I really don't. From what I've seen, the few times that I watched him play, he didn't seem much better than me at all. When I challenged him to play, he fucking dodged it and refused, right? So that's what I mean. Like, the point you're making is you're more like LTG. Okay, you're probably right. But even then, he's playing nonstop. I play casually a few times a week, if that. And if I'm on that level, I think even that's a compliment. So you're not as good as the top players and people who play Street Fighter like full-time for a job. You're correct. You're as good as LTG. That's a compliment, actually. So if that's the case, what is the purpose of your comment? And the guy, you could tell the guy's really trying to insult me at the comment. And I'm reading it. I'm like, this is the mentality of the average person on the internet when they think about me. They just think these insanely negative things about it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you even trying to say or prove in a comment like this? You know? Anyway, so that was Wednesday. Now, let's get to the Phil's Day Off segment, because yesterday was a crazy day, because not only did I have to do all my normal stuff, but I was trying to cram in a bunch of stuff for the streams this week. So, number one, usual stuff. Usual stuff on a day off. Grocery shopping. Got some pet supplies for Jasper Kitty. Out and about, running around. As for food, my wife and I got some Mediterranean food, which is really good. We got two different plates, a gyro plate and a chicken like shawarma plate. So we shared a little bit. The little chicken is really good when it's marinated, and of course everyone loves gyro meat. I think it's called like gyro, not gyro, but whatever. So that was really good. I watched my wife play a lot of Fallout 3. She's been playing Fallout 3 recently, and Fallout 3, of course, is a game where some things are like much better than Fallout 4, and other things are like a lot more frustrating. Like a lot of the RPG elements and the story is much better, and but it's a lot more challenging of a game. There's stretches with insane amounts of enemies, tons of landmines, shortness of ammo or weapon. Your weapons are constantly breaking down, and your armor is busted, and now you can't find any. So it's like in Fallout 4, you can coast through the game, right? You really can. In Fallout 3, you got to play strategically, because it's like, what's more important? Lock picking so I can actually get through doors, speech so I can do speech checks. Do I need more damage with guns? Because if I don't, my guns do absolutely no damage whatsoever. Oh yeah, I need repair, or else all my stuff will constantly be breaking, and I can't ever have good equipment. But wait a minute, what about medicine? If I don't upgrade medicine, no healing items will do anything, right? So it's pretty crazy, to have to do that in that game. It's wild. It's like a juggling RPG where you're juggling all your different priorities. But the thing is, she's really enjoying her second run in the game, because she's going and purposefully doing all the missions she missed the first run, which is almost all of them. Like, she just did main story in the first run, and there's so much to do in Fallout 3. She's really enjoying it, but at the same time, it's frustrating when you get into these parts where it's like really hard gauntlets and stuff like that. Anyway, so outside of all of that, I tried to cram in a bunch of other stuff. Number one, this week, I didn't talk about it because it really doesn't affect anything on my streams. YouTube paid late. What I mean by that is YouTube usually would pay on a certain day by a certain time, and they didn't. And they paid late, and because they paid late for the month, I didn't have time to sit down and like pay all my bills and everything. So I tried to cram that in yesterday during the day, and it was a pain in the butt to try to have to rush to do that. I don't like having to rush to do the business stuff behind the scenes, but I kind of had to do that. And I don't know why, because YouTube almost never pays late. They're really, really on time and strict about it, and they were late this month, and it was frustrating. But in addition to that, I was basically trying to do a bunch of stuff. For example, one of the things I needed to do was set up my mini PC for tomorrow's marathon. So I booted it up for the first time since Christmas. Yeah, it's been that long. And I put in all of the different Windows updates. And by the way, I'm just going to start banning people who derail the chat. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to, if you find yourself removed from the chat because you're sitting in here and you're talking about stuff that has nothing to do with me and my content, that's why you're removed, because you're derailing and you're not coming back. Okay. So, what was I going to say? Oh, I was setting up the mini PC for tomorrow's marathon of indies. So, number one, I downloaded a bunch of Windows updates, restarted it a couple times. Then I went into Steam and I updated Steam. And I downloaded basically the games that we're definitely going to play, including Neota, Hades 2, Stardew Valley, and what was the other one? Oh, Pizza Tower. So those are the games we're absolutely playing tomorrow, okay? Now that's 4 games. That's a good amount, and I feel like that's a good enough amount for the marathon. Excuse me, for the marathon. Sorry about that. Burp came out of nowhere. Each game, that means then we can play for about an hour to an hour and a half during tomorrow's marathon and have a good time. Rather than having to rush and only play like 40 minutes, which is kind of dumb, I want to give each game like maybe 90 minutes. I think that's good. Like we'll do the podcast, then maybe do 3 hours, so do 2 games, and then eat some food, and then do maybe 2 more games, right? So there you go. What order will be determined by you? Because what I think I'll do is I'll run a poll tomorrow during the podcast that you guys will vote on to determine the order of games that we play. All right? So the good news is the PC is updated and working. Steam is updated and working. I got big picture mode set up and working. There's one problem. I didn't have time to run all the games. So I didn't boot them up to see, gee, are they running well? Do we have to adjust? So sadly, when we boot them tomorrow, some of them might run poorly. You know, I'm thinking maybe Hades 2, because it's a brand new game, might run poorly. I don't know. We'll have to see. We might have to turn down the settings and stuff to make it run smoothly on this mini PC. We'll find out tomorrow, okay? So tomorrow's going to be a great day. We'll talk about this in a second when we talk about the schedule, all right? But that was one thing I did. Another thing I did is I booted up Street Fighter 6, and I spent $11.99 to buy a few Street Fighter coins, and I bought more soundtracks. I actually bought the Street Fighter Alpha and the Street Fighter Alpha 2 soundtracks for the game. Why? Because I want to put more songs into the game so that when we're playing online, we get to hear a good variety of classic Street Fighter music. I don't like the Street Fighter 6 music. I don't ever want to hear it ever again. So what I want to do is I want to set up all these classic tracks that we can hear when we play. So what I'd like to do is maybe have like at least 2 tracks set up for each character. Because as you know, if you were here on Wednesday, what happens is when you play that character, it plays certain tracks that you assign to that character, right? So we had it playing like Akuma's Third Strike theme on Wednesday night. Well, I'd also like to add in his Alpha 1, Alpha 2 theme songs. So there's a variety of Akuma music that can be played, right? So I need to do that, but I didn't have time. Like I bought the soundtracks and I started to set up and I was like, dude, I've been in this office for over an hour on my day off. I got to get out of here and spend time with my family. So today when we boot the game up, the first thing I actually want to do is spend like maybe 15 minutes assigning music tracks so that we can, you know, have custom music in the game. Now, Dan the Man says up the music volume in the game. Here's the thing. The music volume is not bad. The Third Strike tracks are. But what happened is apparently Capcom used the original music from the Third Strike arcade board rather than like the home versions. And the Third Strike arcade board music has problems where it plays too low. And so I don't know why they opted to use that one. It's really stupid. Okay? So anyway, hopefully today we will assign, and that's the thing, if I put it in as a variety, like let's say I set Ryu to have his Ultra Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Alpha 1, and Alpha 2 tracks. So every time you fight Ryu, you're going to use one of his tracks from one of the previous games, and they're all really good. So I hope that you guys will join me today and listen to the new music. That's going to be really neat, I feel. Okay? Good stuff in that regard. So I need to do that today when we boot. So that's what I mean. Like, not only yesterday was I having my normal day off, but I was also trying to cram in a million other things. Pay bills, set up the mini PC, do stuff in Street Fighter 6, and I just didn't have a lot of time to do it all, you know? In addition to that, there was other stuff I was doing, which you'll understand later today. So it was like other things on top of those things that I was all trying to do in my one day off, and it's like, where does the time go, you know? Like I said, when I was younger, I always had too much time, but nothing to do with it. Now I'm in my 40s, I have no time to do shit. I'm trying to constantly do a million things. I don't have time for anything. You know, cramming everything in. So it's life, I guess, as you get older, right? So anyway, so there you go. And that was my day off. I'm trying to think if anything else stood out. I don't think so. It was pretty much a crammed day full of a lot of different things. But that's pretty much my day off for yesterday. Fair enough? Okay. Now we need to talk about the schedule for the week. Today, it's Street Fighter 6 all day long. This first stream, as I already explained, first I'd like to set up some music. Then I want to go right to ranked with Akuma again. I want to see what we can do with Akuma. So we're going to take Akuma back to ranked. I've studied videos. I've learned about the Oki, meaning anytime you do a combo with Akuma, you end it with a light Tatsu. You now have a million options. You could sweep and you could double dash forward. You could sweep and you could do the flip and then land quick. You could sweep and do the flip and do a punch. You could sweep, you could flip and do a kick. You can sweep, you can flip, do the long flip, land behind. Or you don't sweep at all, and then you could do a different distance flip. Like, there's all this crazy stuff you can do with him. He has a million options. All he needs to do is land one combo. And now Akuma has a ton of options, okay? They call it the Oki. What it means is it's an option select. It means a lot of characters don't have that, but he has the ability to set himself up to have 3 or 4 different variations of things he can do at any time, which keeps your opponent guessing and makes it that they have to try to guess well or react. And that's the difference. Other characters kind of, how can I say, they just play the pattern. With Akuma, you can mix the pattern up. And you have all these different variations and options, which I think is going to make him one of the best characters in the game overall. So, I'm going to try all this today. Also, I learned better combos. For example, when you're in the corner, you always want to do his new ability, which is, I think it's called Adamant Rage or Adamant Fire. So it juggles for a free corner combo that does big damage. If you wall bounce, you can extend the combo and do even more damage. It's much better than the standard combo that I was using. So I need to remember to try to use that when I'm in the corners because it's much better. So, yeah, I'm going to try some stuff today. But I'm also going to try to stop throwing an air fireball when I move forward. It doesn't seem to be very good in this game. It's good at certain distances, but like what I was trying to do is like do a hit string into and then do like air fireball. It doesn't seem to work. It seems like it's stuffed a lot, and a lot of people just like uppercut right through it. So I'm going to stop using that as much. You know, and I'm going to try to figure this out. So I think it'll be a good day. We're going to try ranked Akuma on the first stream, see how far I can get. Maybe I can get on a win streak and actually get to Master. That'd be amazing if I do. I would love to hit Master today, but I don't know if it's valuable. We'll have to see. We'll have around 3 hours to do it. Okay? Now, the late stream tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, Friday Night Fights. As I said, there will be variety. I am not just using Akuma tonight. Tonight, I'm going to actually try out all of my different fighters. Okay? Excuse me. It should be good to try out the different fighters for the first time. All right? It's going to be a special stream. I hope that you will join me for that. All right? So if you want to see variety and some special stuff tonight, join me on the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow, Saturday, there's no Street Fighter. Tomorrow is my PC Indies Marathon here on DSP Gaming. We're going to have a fun podcast in the morning, and then all day long, we'll be playing indie games. The 4 that I stated, Noita, Hades 2, Pizza Tower, and Stardew Valley. You'll vote on the order you want to see the games live on the stream to determine, you know, which we play and what sequence. Also, there's going to be some booze. All right, I'll be drinking. I have some mojito mix as well as a Long Island iced tea mix that I can have. I don't think I'll be doing any shots or anything crazy like that, but we'll see. I mean, I do have some tequila in the house too, but and I'm going to order some food at some point for dinner. What am I ordering? I don't know. I have to actually speak with my wife about it and figure out what we want to do and place an order and have some food for a Feasting with Phil episode. Okay? Should be fun. So I wish, because last time people were upset with me and they were like, are you going to tell us what it is ahead of time? And I was like, well, if I knew ahead of time, I probably would. But I didn't really know. And then I finally figured out like a day before and I told everyone. So I have no clue what it'll be, but we'll have some food, some booze, and some indie games tomorrow all day long. It'll be a fun marathon day. If you wonder what a marathon means, it means I don't have 2 separate streams like I have in a normal day. It's going to be one ongoing stream that just runs all day long. All right. Starts in the morning just like this stream, but it'll end probably around 7, 8 p.m. It'll just keep going till then. But that'll be good because it'll give us an opportunity to play each of the games about 90 minutes, and then we'll determine, are any of these games good enough that I want to keep playing them, right? So it should be pretty neat. Sunday will be React Day, where I'm going to be doing my DSP versus the Internet clip show on the DSP Reacts channel, and we're beginning a fun new retro React over on the DSP Throwback channel. It's the Mario and Sonic at the 2012 London Olympics co-op playthrough. One of my personal favorites of all time when it comes to co-op. That playthrough is absolutely super fun. And I hope that you guys will join me for it because we're all going to laugh. I know we are. That's just one of the most silly playthroughs I've ever did. From time to time when I'm feeling down, I'll watch some of it just to make myself laugh again. You know, you got to check it out and hang out with us on the Throwback Channel Sunday night for some good laughs. So Monday during the day, I think I'm going to do Street Fighter again. And that stream, perhaps what we'll do is variety. Maybe if I get real close to hitting Master today, we'll try to actually land it on Monday. If not, maybe we'll just do variety and pick all the different characters I've used and try them online and see their differences or whatever. Okay? Monday night, we are finishing Hellblade 2. So for those who've been waiting, because I played Hellblade all day on Tuesday, and you're like, so when are you playing Hellblade again? Monday night, the late stream, we're going to finish Hellblade 2. There's only about 1 to 2 hours left in the game regardless, so it shouldn't be a big deal to finish it up on Monday night. All right, I hope you'll join me for that. I'm curious to see how it ends this time. Does it even have an ending? The first one kind of didn't, right? It was so confusing. Okay, and then on Tuesday, it is the premiere of Multiverses relaunching. That is right. On Tuesday, May 28th, Multiverses relaunches now with a slew of new characters to try, and I'm interested in trying out some of these new ones like Jason Voorhees and Agent Smith and stuff like that. So that should be a fun stream. And then probably Tuesday night, likely I'll do some Fallout 4, I'm thinking. And then Wednesday, depending on how we feel, I don't know if I'll do Fallout 4 or Street Fighter 6 as the day stream. And then probably the other stream will be Multiverses. Okay? So that's the week. That's the week, and I hope that you guys will enjoy. And it's good variety, right? I mean, we got Street Fighter, we got indies, we've got reacting, we've got Fallout, we've got the end of Hellblade 2, and we got Multiverses. So that is a crazy, crazy week. So thank you for being here. I hope that sounds good. Mark your calendars for the variety. Now, as for June coming up, the way I see it is the first few weeks of June, we're going to have more than enough to juggle. Just between what I just mentioned. Keep in mind, at any point, we could bring back a game like Battlefront Collection or Helldivers 2. Or, if those indie games are good, we can have those as a playthrough in June. So between Fallout 4 and maybe some of the indie games, Street Fighter and Multiverses, I mean, we got a big amount of good stuff coming up in June. And then, of course, the big new release in June coming out later on will be Shadow of the Erdtree DLC around the 21st, is it? Something like that. So, yeah, good stuff, right? Excellent. Everyone's is saying to do a pinned comment. First of all, I'm gonna be honest. Right now, I'm looking at my setup. I don't see how many viewers are on stream because I don't care. If there's view botting, I don't know. I'm not aware of it, and no one needs to care or talk about it. Okay. What exactly would you like me to put in the pinned comment? You're gonna get a troll coming in saying dumb shit. I'll just ban them. Like, why do I need a pinned comment exactly? Why can't everyone just relax? Everyone just chill. Everything's fine. Everything's under control, is it not? Right? I don't like, unless I absolutely have to, I don't like doing it because then you're giving them the attention they want. All they want is for me to acknowledge them. And what you're doing right now is you're forcing me to acknowledge them. You see? So by you saying do a pinned comment, you've given them what they want. Which is why I was ignoring it. But then you guys had to bring it up. See? You fell for the trap, sadly. Okay. Now, let's continue, shall we? All right. So, I think we're good in everything I just talked about. Now, guess what? We got news. Right? We got news. And this is the thing, like, this is the crazy thing about my podcast on Fridays, is that we've got a ridiculous amount of stuff to talk about in a very short amount of time. Are you ready for all this news? I don't think you are. There's an insane amount of news that has happened. Okay? Number one, it has been revealed that the secret project that was going to be talked about during this upcoming Xbox Direct in early June is actually Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which surprised absolutely no one because we all knew that it was Call of Duty Black Ops. Like, no one thought that it was anything else at all. It's absolutely hilariously stupid that anyone would think that it was anything else, okay? So, basically, yeah, it's coming out. Now, I guess the big news here is that I guess it has become official. that I guess it's going to be on Game Pass. And that I don't think anyone knew. So the fact that it's actually going to be on Game Pass is pretty crazy, because we were all wondering what was going to happen with this acquisition of Activision Blizzard. But yeah, so hey, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will be on Game Pass day one. And do they know what they're doing? I don't know. It seems like they're going to lose a hell of a lot of revenue by putting it on Game Pass, but I'm certainly not upset about that. I would prefer to just get it on Game Pass than pay $70-some for it. Jasper, you want to leave now? Ready to go, buddy? Go ahead, you can go. You've been good. You've been behaving, so you can stay in here, but yeah, you want to go? Go ahead. Jasper can't decide. He's been in here the whole time. Go ahead, buddy. You don't want to go? He can't make up his mind what he wants to do. Are you going to leave, or are you going to stay in here? You've been good. Now he comes back. You've been a good boy. You can stay in here with me if you want. I figure I should get him out of here when I'm going to play Street Fighter, though, right? What do you want to do? You've been silly. Am I using a voice changer? No, I use a higher pitched voice with him because I like talking to him like that, because he's like my son. What do you want to do? You want to stay in here? Well, then I'll close the door. You want to leave, you let me know. This is weird, because usually when I'm in here and I close the door... No, now he's going up to the door. He can't decide. Jasper, what do you want to do? You want to stay in here? I got to do the news segment now. Now he's at the door. Do you want to go out again? Do you want me to open it? What do you want to do? He doesn't know what... All right, whatever. We're going to continue with the news segment for now. Okay? So anyway, how will Call of Duty being on Game Pass affect everything? No one seems to know. It seems like a big question mark. I mean, it's a positive for gamers who don't have to buy it like me. But at the same time, it's kind of confusing, because if they're losing money and they're in a situation where they're closing studios, why are they now going to take away one of their biggest, if not their biggest moneymaker? I don't know. You want to go, Jasper? What do you want to do? All right. Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree. We have more information about it now. Okay. You want to go? Here. Go ahead, you can go. You can leave. Go ahead. Go ahead, silly. No, he can't decide. He's driving me nuts, because it looks like he wants to leave, but he's not leaving. What do you want to do? He's derailed. He's derailed the podcast. I'm shocked he stayed on the floor for an hour. I almost forgot he was in here. All right, he's taking off. There he goes. All right, Jasper, see you later. What a nut. Okay, so Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree, we have more information. Number one, the DLC has over 30 different tracks on its soundtrack. For those who don't know, the original Elden Ring had 67 songs. So if it has 30 new songs, it probably means it's going to be roughly half as long as the original Elden Ring. Well, the original Elden Ring was insanely long. What was it, over 100 hours? So, man, that's pretty great to hear. They were working on the DLC for essentially as long as Dark Souls 3's entire development. So it sounds to me like the DLC may be as long as Dark Souls 3. And Dark Souls 3's lead game designer is also the lead game designer on the Elden Ring DLC. Cool. This is sounding better and better. Essentially, you know what this is sounding like? Elden Ring 2 or Elden Ring 1.5. It doesn't really sound like a DLC anymore. It just sounds like another game, which I'm totally cool with, right? Like, I love Dark Souls 3, right? This is excellent news. There's literally nothing negative there whatsoever. That sounds amazing. I can't wait to play it. I feel like we're going to have a ton to do with this game when it comes out in, mid to late June. I think it's going to be excellent. We're going to be playing it for a couple weeks probably and really enjoying the hell out of it. So, 2 thumbs up in that regard. I'm very excited for Shadow of the Erd Tree. Let's see here. So, weird news coming out of Nintendo. All right. Well, two pieces of news. Here's the first piece that's kind of weird. So for those who don't know, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake just released on the Nintendo Switch. I think you play it now, right? Didn't it come out? That's cool. I've always wanted to play the Thousand Year Door. I played it on my GameCube many, many years ago on original GameCube. I never got to beat it. I would love to play it for you guys someday. Right now is definitely not the right time, but maybe later on this year when things slow down. Maybe during the summer, okay? But here's the weird thing about it. You ready for this? On the Switch, the game runs at 30 frames per second, is locked at 900p resolution. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The game does not even run at 1080p. But the modern game on a modern console, you're paying full price for it, and it runs at 900p. Figure that one out. They couldn't get 1080 on the Switch. And tell me what this means. You ready for this? It has support for 4K resolution, 2160p in its code. Why would you have a game that's running at 30 frames per second and 900p on the Switch have code to run it at 4K and 2160p? Because, ladies and gentlemen, what people are speculating is that the Switch 2 is actually a way closer thing than we all suspect. That actually probably in the next month, Nintendo will announce the Switch 2, and it might even be coming out within the next year, if not by the end of this year. And what everyone is surmising is that this game will be a game that they will heavily push and say, hey, own this on the Switch, re-download it on the Switch 2, and play it in 4K today. Yeah. So, I mean, if that's the case, it makes a lot of sense. I can't imagine why they would have that capability in the game without the hardware to support it. So it's not, and by the way, if Switch 2 can handle 4K 2160p, it may be the Nintendo console I've always wanted. Because the problem with Nintendo in the last 10 to 15 years is they've always been behind the technology game. Instead of caring about actually competing with the visuals and the capabilities of other consoles, they go, oh, I want to waggle my fucking Wiimote like this and act like the game is better because of it. I want a giant oversized fucking screen on my controller that I'll never use. And I'll waggle it around like this and pretend like it's something innovative. Oh, look, I can now take my console and lift it up like an over-glorified Nintendo 3DS and take it with me, even though I've never done that. And then I could say, oh, there's some kind of a new feature. Instead of just making the fucking thing be able to run games well, right? Instead, here's a new game that can only run at 30 frames 900p, but you pay full price for it. It's stupid, pathetic. They gotta fucking up their game. Sounds to me like they are. Like, it actually sounds like that's what they're going for. They want to up their game, and it sounds like the next console may actually be powerful, okay? I hope, anyway. Another news story about Nintendo. Nintendo has announced plans for a new official store in San Francisco. They're going to have it open in Union Square in 2025. For those who don't know, Nintendo does have an official store in New York City. And it's basically like the only big one in the U.S., right? And they try to do big launches and stuff there. So now they're going to have another one in San Francisco. It's a little confusing, though. Like, San Francisco, of all the places to have it, wouldn't you think, like, L.A., right? Like a bigger place than San Francisco? But maybe they thought L.A., I mean, I hate to say it, maybe they just think L.A. is too full of fucking crime and problems these days, and they just don't want it there, right? I mean, it very well could be. Anyway, what's the big deal about the Nintendo store? Well, it's pretty much a novelty store. They've got all Nintendo products in there. Kind of similar. Did you ever go to the Disney store before they all closed? You would walk in and it's wall-to-wall Disney merchandise, clothing, one-of-a-kind memorabilia, action figures, models, collectibles, things that you could wear, that like costumes for kids and stuff like that. And usually you could only get it from Disney store. It wasn't like, oh, this is something you could just buy at a normal store. It was like Disney exclusive merch. So same premise here with the Nintendo store. Not only can you go into the Nintendo store and buy games, but you can also buy a ton of other themed clothing, merch, collectibles, all kinds of stuff. You know, the amiibos were actually huge. To go to the Nintendo store and they would have a wide selection of amiibos, right? When people still cared about these. I'm pretty sure people don't really care about them anymore. But, you know, so that's the kind of stuff you go in there. Imagine you're a tourist. You go to the Nintendo store and you're like, wow, I love Nintendo. You end up buying a whole bunch of stuff, right? Anyway, I guess we'll see how it does in 2025, supposedly opening. A new Astrobot game. That's right, Astrobot, that little cute robot character that's been a part of PlayStation ever since the launch of PS4. Remember they had Astro's Playroom, which was like the big AR. Remember there's the AR thing with the camera, and then it was actually the tech demo game that came free with everyone's PS5. So he's gonna get a new game. Everyone's expecting it to be announced within the next 15 days, according to Deal Labs and Bill Kuhn. Who is that? I have no fucking clue. Part of the game is set in a desert environment. A new character might look like a fennec fox, but it's a robot fox. So, and also, seemingly the game is for PlayStation 5. It does not look like a PSVR tie-in game like a lot of people surmised originally this game would be. Well, that's interesting. The Astro Playroom tech demo game was actually one of the best things about the launch of PS5. It really just was. It actually showed off that in this controller, how the haptic feedback worked really well, how it had the capabilities to talk into the mic and have it recognize your voice. You could blow in it, and it would recognize how hard you're blowing and make things happen in a game. You actually, for the first time, felt the trigger strength. Remember how you have, I forget what it's called. It's not haptic feedback for the triggers. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, so basically, all of that was in there. And it really showed off the capabilities of the PS5 controller at launch. It's just sad that here we are, 3-4 years into the PS5, and not many games really take advantage of those features at all. If any, they very barely you notice it, you know. So I'm curious what the game would be, because if it's a full-fledged game, I think that's pretty neat. Adaptive triggers is what it's called. Thank you, Airhead. They're called adaptive triggers. I think that'd be pretty neat. I really liked the Astros stuff. So to actually have it be its own full-fledged game would be pretty cool, I feel. So there you go. All right, now our last story today is kind of an amalgamation of stuff out of Naughty Dog. Just listen to these 3 different things. Okay? Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann says the studio's new game could redefine mainstream perceptions of gaming. He says, I'm eager to see how this new game resonates, especially following the success of The Last of Us, as it could redefine mainstream perceptions of gaming. The new game is perhaps the most thrilling yet. He also said the following. Ready? These are all quotes out of Druckmann. I guess someone interviewed him, and he said a bunch of interesting stuff. AI is going to redefine game development because it's going to reduce costs and push the boundaries of storytelling in games. However, he added that there were ethical issues that need to be addressed, and it's crucial to precisely direct tools to achieve the intended outcomes. So, I mean, so what do you guys think about this? Number one, I guess it really depends on how much you believe Neil Druckmann about stuff. If you were to listen to Neil Druckmann, he would have you believe that he was like solely the major head and lead and driving force behind The Last of Us. In reality, if you study facts, that's not true at all. He actually did not drive the force of The Last of Us 1 whatsoever. It was a shared effort between him and other people. A lot of people, sadly, attribute the best parts of Last of Us 1 to other people. It's just that they left. They left Naughty Dog. And when they did, he basically ended up getting all of the credit for Last of Us. Then he helmed the ship as they drove into Last of Us 2. And I think we all saw how that went. Some people absolutely feel that Last of Us 2 is one of the best-in-class, best video games ever developed. Others feel that it has a lot of great technical achievements and is a basically pile of dog vomit when it comes to this the meat of the game because of insanely bad writing, insanely bad pacing, awful story choices that push an agenda rather than make a good, solid narrative. I could see myself on both sides of the fence on this one. I don't like Neil Druckmann as a person. He seems to me like an egomaniac who really does want to seem to take all credit for Last of Us when it really was not him. If you follow the facts, you can find out it was not him who solely made Last of Us at all, although he seems to spin it that way all the time. And I feel like he made major missteps. I do feel like the Last of Us TV show, which actually was a lot under his control, would have been a lot better if he just stuck to the source material. But instead, he wanted to do these weird things going in weird directions, again, seemingly to push agendas down your throat you shouldn't care about. It's not part of the fucking plot. It didn't add anything, right? So, I mean, really, when he says these things, it's like, what camp are you in? Are you the ultra fan of Neil Druckmann who trusts everything he does? I mean, let's be honest here. You know what the next game was supposed to be? The Last of Us multiplayer game, which he promised would be part of Last of Us 2. Then he said, oh, we're not doing that anymore, but don't worry, it's still coming. Then he said, oh, wait, it's not coming anymore. It's going to be its own standalone game you have to buy. And then he canceled the whole thing. So through a series of misdirections, he made it so that he never had to make a multiplayer component of Last of Us ever again, even though it was promised. So do you trust this man? You know, I don't know. Do you really, I mean, think of it this way. Do you really, of all people, do you trust Neil Druckmann to properly direct AI in game development? Of all people. Like, maybe if you told me like Gabe, what's his name? Gabe Newell or whatever, the guy at Valve, right? If he was going to do it, or, you know, Hideo Kojima said that he wanted to implement AI in game development or something like that, maybe those guys I would trust. I don't know if I trust Neil Druckmann with AI. I feel like Neil Druckmann's going to try to develop a game with AI, and next thing you know, it's going to become Skynet and kill us all. I don't know. You know, I really don't know, but yeah, this doesn't seem like the most dependable guy when it comes to, you know, making intelligent decisions or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens moving forward, but a lot of information. By the way, if you don't remember, several months ago, Neil also was interviewed, and he said he felt like he only had one more game in him. After he does one more game, he thinks he wants to retire. I just want you to think about that for a second. This guy, who basically has only really directed not that much. He's directed Uncharted 4, right? After the people who were actually in charge of Uncharted 4 ended up leaving the company, so he had to finish the game. He was forced to do it. And Last of Us 1 and 2, although 1 is arguable, it's already kind of controversial, as I just stated. And basically the Last of Us TV series. That's really what he's done. Okay? Says he's ready to retire. I want you to think about this for a minute. How much fucking money does this guy have? Right? Based off of what? He's going to retire. Okay. Interesting. I guess my question is, where does all the money go in the game industry? Because right now, if there's so many problems going on right now in the game industry, and everyone's, you know, cutting back, scaling back, there's a big, you know, a bust, a big bubble bursting in the games industry. How can Neil Druckmann retire after his next game exactly? How much money has he kept? It's like, what? To me, it's like, it sounds like he's just starting, right? I don't know, man. It's pretty insane what he's saying. But anyway, I guess we'll have to see what happens. And I will follow the story for you guys. Do I have any confidence that the game will be good? No. But at the same time, I'm not going to be one of these closed-minded morons who's like, oh, just because it's Neil Druckmann, I don't like him because I feel like he's an egomaniac. I refuse to follow the story of Naughty Dog games or see if they're good. I'm not going to do that. I think that's kind of closed-minded and ignorant, is it not? Just because I personally don't like a guy who's in charge of that shit doesn't mean that I'm not going to at least check out stuff for it, you know, if it's good or not in gaming. So I guess we'll see, you know, moving forward. All right, we got to move, guys, because guess what? Got shout-outs to do, and it's already 12:18. I kind of knew that was going to happen. So let's get right to it. On the YouTube side of stuff, we start off with No Tango Dinero today, who says, Friday party with the boys. It's good to see you back, No Tango Dinero. I know you haven't been around for a couple weeks. Welcome back, and thank you for the super chat. The Big Dog did a super chat and says, acknowledge Akuma. Indeed we shall. He is damned good. And again, I'm curious today, in my quest to take Akuma higher ranked, to get him to master, will we end up facing mostly Akumas again? Right? It seems like that's par for the course. Like, we're going to keep facing a zillion Akumas. And there's really no way around it, right? Okay, and Fox Mulder, 20 months as a member. Thank you to Fox. Now we swing over to tips. And we have quite a lot of tips to shout out this morning. So we start off today with a $6.09 tip that actually came in yesterday. But I always tell you guys that tips come in, like during my day off or whatever, I'll very readily and willingly count them towards the next stream. So in this case, it's a $6.09 tip. Sounds like a currency conversion to me. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get my alert box page to load. And they have changed the whole thing. Great. I knew this was coming. I absolutely knew that this was coming, that they were going to change everything. And now I got to change Is text. Oh, God. So, what I'm going to have to do now, I have to change all the text. Hold on 1 second when I do this. I was off yesterday, and now everything refreshed. So now every time I tip, I have to change the thing here, which is annoying, but it is what it is. So this is a $6.09 tip. Okay, let's update the $5 tip level. Now let's see if this works. I hope it does. Ready?
This is a test
Cool.
donation for
So thank you very
$84.
much. What the hell? This is a test donation for $84. Why does it say that? That's not right. Oh, I know why. It reset the stupid text fields. Okay, hold on. Yeah. It reset the text field. How do I turn that off? Oh, do I do it here? Hold on. I apologize, guys, again. The stupid thing. Ah, here it is. Disable that. Disable that. Save. Okay, let's test this again. Much better. Okay. So thank you very much. An anonymous $6.09 tip. I enjoyed your Akuma stream. It had a pretty I had a pretty shitty day. This took my mind off of it. I want to show some appreciation. I'm looking forward to more streams on Friday. Thank you to the anonymous tipper. And indeed, there'll be a lot more Street Fighter 6 today. It's all day long. Okay? Continuing on. There's a $25 tip from Rocky. So, Rocky, please allow me to make sure this animation works. Ready to test it? It works. Thank you very much, Rocky, for a $20 tip. Let's get you on the leaderboard and see what you have to say. It's $25, by the way. He says, happy Friday, everyone. Let's have some fun playing Akuma, and I hope that the move-spamming children are still in school now. There you go. Thank you to Rocky. I received another $5 tip. This one is from Dan the Man. Thank you very much, Dan, for that. Cool. See here. I got a $1 tip. Someone says, I can only support once. Would you prefer today during Street Fighter or tomorrow during your marathon? Oh, whatever you want to do. Because I don't even know what you mean. Are you saying that you're going to give memberships or, you know, are you going to tip? That's up to you. Or whatever you want to do. It's not, don't take it upon me to be telling you if and how to support, man. You do what you want. Thank you for the $1 tip and thanks for even considering it. Okay? Thank you so much. All right, and then I received a generous $40 tip. So first of all, here we go. This would be the $30 animation. Let me save that. Let's see if it works. Yes. I'm gonna have to probably eventually fix the text. You see the text is too skinny now. It used to be chunkier. I guess they changed a lot of things, so I'm gonna have to update that. But anyway, thank you. It's a $40 tip from the return of Akuma's marvelously long schlong. Someone is talking about the length of Akuma's schlong. So instead, I'm just gonna say, WTF, thank you for a $40 tip. Because I don't know what you're talking about or why you'd be talking about Akuma's long dong schlong or whatever. I prefer if he would just keep it in his gi, and we don't ever have to see his long dong schlong. But thank you so much for a $40 tip. It's much appreciated. I know exactly what the hell. I have no clue. Don't ask me. But thank you so much for a very generous tip. That means we are up to Gunner Glasses level already on today's stream. We have not even booted the game, and that is awesome. Thank you for that support, guys. Continuing on now. Looks like Big Fridge did a super chat and says, welcome back, playa. It's good to see you. Indeed, I am a playa. I play other games, so I appreciate that, Big Fridge. It's good to have you on stream. And then we've got another super chat that just came in from Black Rose X Dragon, who says, looking forward to Akuma Supremacy. So we got to see what happened in the last 2 days. Because remember, I wasn't here yesterday. Does everyone know Akuma's now? And now they're going to whoop my ass? Right? Or will I actually do well with Akuma today and get him to master? I have no clue. We're going to find out. It's going to be interesting either way, I feel. So, thank you guys for that. What I'm going to have to do is manually change around a few settings in my tips now. Save that one. And I think 420 stays the same. I think so. I think the 666 tip. No, I have to. The 666 tip I have to update. Remember, if you tip 666, there's a special animation. Okay, I got that. What it looks like happened is the text, like the font is different now. Like, yeah, I'm probably going to have to adjust some settings. So the font looks skinny now, doesn't it, when I do a tip animation? Well, we'll have to see what happens. All right, anyway. Thank you guys for the early support here. I really, really appreciate that. Remember, anything is greatly appreciated today. Super chats, membership, gifted memberships, tips. But keep in mind something. When I am playing Street Fighter and other competitive games online, I can't interact with you guys as much as other streams. Like, if this was a Fallout stream, we'd be sitting here talking all day. But it's going to be more focused on the game. And I apologize for that, but that's the nature of competitiveness in games, right? You got to be paying attention. I'll do my best to chat with you guys and or do shout-outs between matches and the like, sets. But I want to say thank you to those who already with the early support. It's very nice of you. I appreciate that. Okay, so I think we've covered everything so far. We have a tiny bit of extra time. So if you guys have anything you'd like to discuss, tag me in the chat. Or if any other, contributions come in, I'll shout them out. But let's see what you guys want to talk about quickly. Jade says, I'm not 100% yet. Last night I was up and back to bed chill today. It's all good, Jade. I hope you feel better. I'm sure you'll be casually watching and seeing what's going on with Akuma. And tonight, the variety stream. Because tonight is right now is Akuma. Tonight is the variety stream, FYI. We'll have a variety of characters on the late stream. It's Billy says, hope you had a good day off. Billy says hi. Well, I kind of described my day off. It was pretty hectic and wild, but yes, I did enjoy myself. Oh, look at that. So it looks like, oh, I see. Okay, I'm going to change that. I see what they did here. Hold on. They turned on all the text-to-speech stuff, and we definitely can't have that because we have that, sadly. We turned that off. Not text-to-speech, but, yeah, the super chat messages. If we have those on, then you're going to have people super chatting just to say horrible things. So I just turned it off. And same thing with members. Oh, membership messages are disabled. It's so weird. They updated and some stuff changed and others did not. And subscribers should not even be on. So that should be fine. Okay, so now everything should be good. As much as I liked having those messages years ago, remember years ago I used to have all your messages on screen. Sadly, what would happen is people abused it. They would come in and they would like super chat. And they would put in insanely bad things, like racist things, horrible things, or they would dox people into things like, dude, I can't have that, right? So that's why I had to turn all that shit off. What do I like the most out of the changes to Street Fighter 6? I don't know yet. Right now, one of the things that a lot of people is falling for is they all think that level 1 supers are completely invincible, which they're not anymore. They made it so projectiles stuff them. So you can actually do a meaty projectile in the game, and people cannot do a wake up level 1 super through it anymore like they used to be able to, and it's completely good. I'm like, wow, that's great. I actually killed a bunch of people back on Wednesday by just doing meaty fireball with Akuma, and they would try to do wake up super through it, and it would stuff them and kill them, and they're like, oh shit. So that's actually a good thing that there's a way to get around wake up invincible level 1 super. Oh, you want me to talk about that? All right, so we figured it out. So back on Wednesday, on my first stream of Akuma, people were swearing that they heard a fart noise. And they were like, dude, did you fart on stream? I was like, I literally can't tell you because I fart on stream all the time. I literally fart all the time. I've already farted like 5-6 times this morning. I'm not kidding you. I fart all the time on stream, but you guys don't hear it. This mic has literally never picked up a fart. And we have, now I even have noise filters and gates on this. So you don't hear any atmospheric noise. You don't hear the air conditioner, nothing, right? So how on earth would it pick up a fart? Come to find out, it wasn't. It was, I was playing a Chun-Li, and I was frustrated at what was going on, and I went, just like that with my mouth, because I was pissed. I was like, or something like that. I did it with my mouth, and you couldn't really see it because the webcam was so small that actually it sounded like I farted, but I actually didn't. So the mystery is solved. It was me making a mouth noise to sound like a fart because I was upset because the Chun-Li was beating me. But not that it matters here or there. If it ever picked up a fart, it ain't a big deal. But I don't think that it was. I actually had someone go back to look for it and said, I found the moment. Here it is. It's you flying Chun-Li and you were upset. You just started making noises with your mouth. I know. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Trust me. Of all the things I've done on stream, possibly farting on the mic is the least crazy, dramatic, silly thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is like nothing at all. I mean, really. It's not a big deal. Am I going to play System Shock Remake when I'm done with some games? I might. I'm interested in it, but here's the thing. We had like a drought of games, did we not? All of a sudden now, within 1 week, we've got Hellblade 2, the Street Fighter update, Thousand Year Door remake, System Shock remake, and Multiverses all launching. Why did it all come out within 1 week? Why couldn't there have been spacing between these games so we had more stuff to do when there was, you know what I'm saying? No, it all had to be at the same fucking time. So now we're all trying to figure this shit out, and it's like, ugh. Night Shift says Akuma is not the best character. Ken's still #1. Actually, if you want to know the truth, a lot of pro players are not of that opinion anymore. A lot of pro players are actually feeling with the rebalance patch, Ken is maybe not as good as Ryu. That Ryu may be the best Shoto, or it's Akuma, and Ken might be #3. He still might be 3rd best in the game, though. You know? Because basically Ken got a bunch of nerfs, from what I'm to understand. His throw loop is not nearly as good anymore. And a lot of his jab was nerfed. So his jab is not nearly as good as it used to be. So he had a lot of things change about him. And so pro players are actually saying they still think he's top, but probably not best anymore. Hair of the Dog, thank you very much for a super chat. What are the Shoto characters? Shotos are those who fight in the Shotokan karate style. So that's Ryu, Ken, Akuma are the top 3. There's been some others over the years. You could argue that Sakura is a hybrid. At one point, people said Dan, but Dan really is not. He's kind of a parody of Art of Fighting characters. So definitely probably not Dan, but it's really Ryu, Ken, and Akuma are the big Shotos that all have the fireball, uppercut, hurricane kick style. Can I say game over for you, Jade? Game over! There you go. Jade really wanted me to say game over. Do I miss Sagat and Fei Long? Do I miss them? No. Is it nice to have classic characters in Street Fighter games? Yes. Will they add them to the game eventually? Maybe. Sean, I mean, you could argue Sean was a Shoto, but not really. Like, again, did he have an uppercut? Yes. Did it actually work like a Shoryuken? Not really. Did he have a hurricane kick? No. He had this weird floaty multi-hit kick, but it was the same motion. So I would say Sean is similar in archetype, but not a real Shoto. I don't think so. Goken, no, again, see, Goken, not really. In Street Fighter 4, he didn't have a Dragon Punch. No, he didn't have a Dragon Punch. He didn't have a Hurricane Kick. He had moves of those inputs, but they were dramatically different. So I wouldn't say that he was a Shoto, which is weird because he was supposed to be the mentor of the Shotos. He's the one who trained Ryu, Ken, and Akuma. Am I going to unlock the boss supers for Akuma? No. Do you even know how they work? So, there's an Easter egg in the game. During a round, if you do Akuma's taunt and then you hold a certain direction, he sits down on the ground, eats a rice bun, and then he powers up, and when he stands up, he becomes Shin Akuma, which is the boss level Akuma who used to be in the Street Fighter Alpha series, who's so broken that he was always infinitely banned from any kind of competitive play. So he's in the game, but it's just not practical to use him. No one's going to let you sit there for like 30 seconds doing this extended taunt sequence, you know? So no one's ever going to get him in a competitive match. So it's kind of cool the way they did it. But apparently when he becomes Shin Akuma, he's insanely broken. He has a double air fireball and even more juggle ability and stuff. So... Okay. Yeah, I saw Desk already put out a combo video for Shin Akuma. Desk is crazy. Desk has always been the guy who he analyzes and micro-analyzes fighting games and shows all kinds of nuance and does crazy combo videos, and he talks about secret characters in games. He's been known for that for a very long time. Like, I swear he was around doing that shit in, like, the 2000s, but that was before it was prominent because there was no YouTube. Right? Now he's actually doing it, like, for YouTube, and he's getting tons of views, which is great. It's good for him. Good for him. Okay, I received a $23 tip from August. He says, I'm 37 years old. I absolutely love Street Fighter. I have since when I first went to the arcades after school with my brother. Street Fighter 2 is my overall favorite game. I played every new game at launch every time that they came out. These days, when I play games online, I get spanked and I get embarrassed by these kids. I'm so happy to see the Street Fighter community even stronger than ever. Good luck fighting in the streets for the 6th time. Thank you very much to August for the $23 tip. We'll play the animation in a second. And it looks like we're gonna have a hat goal. Although if I'm gonna wear a hat today, I have to wear a hat that's not intrusive to gameplay. Maybe the Ryu headband, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, the Ryu headband would make sense for Street Fighter 6, right? Let's see. So first of all, let's go ahead and let's get this animation for August. Thank you, August. Game over! Cool. And, what do you guys think? Ryu headband today? Yeah, probably Ryu headband. The fedora would work too. I'm trying to think like what hats wouldn't bother me when I'm playing Street Fighter. Hold on. Let me take a look. Let's figure this out, and then we'll probably go on a break, and then we'll get set up. I would say... All right. I would say either the red fedora, which stands out really nicely on camera, correct? Holding it backwards. Or the Los Santos cap, which, by the way, matches my outfit. I didn't even notice, but look, it matches my Street Fighter shirt for today. So the Los Santos cap. Or, you know, the Ryu headband, but the Ryu headband can be annoying sometimes. So if I start getting frustrated, I might have to take it off. Okay? Okay. Should we do a poll for it? Let's do a poll for it. They changed it. The poll, wow. They actually, they have reprogrammed YouTube chat. It looks different now. The poll looks completely different. Look at that. You guys see that, right? How different that looks? So they've changed YouTube chat in the last week. The whole poll looks completely different on my screen. How does it look for you guys? So I received a $10 super chat from Lord Licorice. I appreciate the support. However, what you're saying is drama about another YouTuber, and I don't play that game. I don't. I don't revel in people who sadly have misfortune. I don't want to see the downfall of other YouTubers or content creators. Okay? I think it's sad when you hear a story about a YouTuber who has a problem or a downfall or an issue. So FYI, I don't care about that. It has nothing to do with me or my stream, and I'm not going to bring it up. But what I will say is this. I wish him the best. I hope that, you know, whatever's going on over there, that there's a recovery. You know? I don't wish ill will on anybody. Okay. So right now, Ryu Headband is in the lead, 48%. Red Fedora, 31. Los Santos, 21. But you guys could vote. I'm actually going to probably end the show now. Jade says, in the level 1 podcast, I see Akuma and Ed. Yes, look. We have added the DLC characters to this border now. Did you guys notice? We have all the DLC characters in the border now, so now it represents the entire cast of Street Fighter 6. Pretty cool. Okay. Everyone, I do feel like we have to end the show. Okay. So, thank you for all the support today early on. I really appreciate that. Can we get Akuma to master today on the stream? We're going to find out. This is going to be interesting to see if we can get him to master how I do. Can I play better than I did on Wednesday, or is it going to just be a more epic fail? I don't know. I am hoping for the best and improving. I did see some new strategies and combos. I'm going to do my best. We'll find out, I guess, here. Okay? So, thank you guys very much for a great podcast back tomorrow on the show. I'm sure I'll be recapping everything that happened today on my streams and talking about any game news or whatever. Remember, tomorrow, guys, the Big Indies Marathon, that's going to be a really fun one. All right? Thank you all for chilling with me here on the Level 1 podcast. I hope that you enjoyed, and I shall see you all on Saturday. Peace out.